Hey guys, welcome to my another video. This is going to be a second video for building the applications on the Angular and front end and Spring Boot on a back end. So I'm going to start with building the API first, and I will get back to the front-end part later on. In the first video, I already show you how it's really gonna be look like, and this is the how the design is going to be look like, and this is the Angular app. Okay, so now let's forget about this Angular app and let's go back to the Spring Boot and let's build some of the APIs. So to build the APIs in a Spring Boot, I'm gonna also use the Postman here just to get try all my APIs. Okay, so this is going to be my the tool that is will allow me to test the all my APIs for the get, post, put, and delete the talk stuff. Okay. Okay, so I already created this app here called Task. So what I'm gonna show you here is the first thing I'm gonna show you how it really looks like. Okay, this is my channel. I'm gonna close this and I'm gonna go to the local host and it's running on 8080. If I go in 8080, I know it's going to give me an error here, and this error is coming from Spring Boot. So I will go in my Task. So this is my API that is going to return. Okay, and if I go in my Postman, and this is the exact thing that I'm returning, getting a data here in Postman as well. Okay, so this is the post. This is the get, and if I try to do a post, then I'll use the same here, same endpoint, but in a body we need to send the data what we're trying to post. So let's copy this. Can I make this big? Let me. Yeah, I can make this bigger. Okay, I'll just make this a little bigger here. Okay, so this is my body. So I will just scroll this little bit down here. Yep, and I will go in raw data, and I'm gonna put as the JSON file, and I'm gonna delete. I don't need the ID, but I just need this. So design solution. Let me do a 3 here and send. Okay, so once I send it, okay. So now looks like the ID4 design solution 3 has been created. So if I refresh it here, so now I will see 3 data. Of course, I know that I removed the number 3 third data, and of course it's going to auto increment by the Spring Boot itself by the framework, and it's giving me ID4. But anyway, the data is saving here. So now let's update it. So what to do, we need to update it. Every time when we do an add, we use a post, but to update, let's use a put. Okay, use a put to update it. Use the same here, but here I need to provide my ID to update too. So let me update the one, and let me go back to my one. This is my one, and I want to update this title. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy exactly the same one here with this, and what I'm gonna do is I want to update that. Okay, and to update, I'm gonna paste it with this, paste it with that JSON file, which just I copy it, which is this one. Okay, of course I need to put this as a string. Okay, I put it, and instead of here, let me do 12, and I will just send it. Okay, so now once I send it, the ID one is updated with the 12 here. Okay, and if I go it here and if I refresh, then yep, it's been updated. So this is how we can update it using the put. So now let's use the delete. And if I use a delete and I don't need to provide any raw data, nothing, no body is been needed. So none, I just need to provide what is need to be removed. Of course, we don't have any authorizations. We have open because we're just learning. We're creating of the Fletch applications here. So now I'm going to remove it, and if I click it, then remove location. It says remove location, but it should say remove task because this is a task table. Okay, so if I click it, refresh it, sorry, then it's going to remove the no ID number one. So this is the API what we're trying to build. This is a really simple CRUD operations API, and I'm going to show you how we can build in Spring Boot. Okay, it's already been built, but I'm going to build it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to end this. The first thing is I'm going to clear my log. Now it's already created here this task called Spring Boot Dev Tools, which already created here project. So basically, the first thing let's talk about is the ID, what I'm using it. I'm currently using the Spring toolset. You don't need to use a Spring toolset. You can use a Eclipse as well, but the Spring will provide you a really good Spring Boot toolsets. It's provide you the ID, and this is built on the top of the Spring, not Spring, sorry, top of the Eclipse. So Spring Tools, yep, it's called Spring Tools, and yep, it's built on the top of the Eclipses, and it's really good to use it. You can literally create your own project here really easily, and that's what we're gonna do. Or there is also the Spring Initializer, where you can create a project of the Spring, and you can put this project in here. You can import it, you can download when you create what kind of dependency you need. You can select it and you can put it in your project as well. But what I'm going to use at this time, I'm going to use this Spring toolset because I'm using Spring toolset. So I'm going to create a Spring Boot project using the Spring Tools tool. Okay. Uh, okay, so now let me go here and let me create a new project, Java project. I'll click a Java project. And you know what? Not Java project, sorry. So let me go here and let me Spring Startup project. That what Spring Startup project. Now we need to give our name of the service URL. I will left it like that. So this is the name we need to provide. So let's call the task management. Okay, task management. And here is a group which we can provide. I will just provide as a SAM. It doesn't even need it. And the artifact, I'm gonna leave as a task management here. Version is 0.01 snapshot, and descriptions here is the task management for the Spring Boot. Okay, and this is a package. So where you can create a domain name from the backside. So I'm gonna create something called code.sam.demo. Okay, so I'm gonna do a next now. So the next is to pick my dependencies what I needed for this project. Okay, so I'm gonna use a Lambok. Lambok is basically it's easy to create you the method. So I'm gonna use a Lambok. There is a way to install a Lambok is also how to install a Lambok, and you can easily install a Lambok using the project Lambok here. Okay, so this is the project Lambok which you can install it and you can use it. You can install it here and you can use it in your dependencies here. So project Lambok and MySQL driver, and of course you need to have a MySQL is running as well. And I'm running the MySQL server here, and I'm using the XAMPP server control panel, and my control panel is running the MySQL server here on this local host. Okay, on yep, and it's running here. That's why I created this new tables called the task underscore master table, MST, and it has only one table called task. Okay, this is what I created and I use it. And I'm running a MySQL. And for to use a MySQL, I need to also need a dependency of MySQL driver. Okay, so that's why I click this. Now Spring Dev Tools is basically it's like whenever you save it, then it's gonna reload it automatically. You don't have to stop the server and run it again. It will just make it easy to developing process. Okay, that's all. So I'm gonna also use a Spring Data JVA. So basically, the Spring Data JVA stores all the data with the Java Persistent API, and it's using the Spring Data and the Hibernate, and this is ORM. So basically, is object relationship mapping. Basically, when you create your class, then it's going to create automatically a tables for you. You don't have to worry about all the SQL tables. Whenever you define your class or model, then if you define as an entity there, then it's going to create you all the tables over there. I'm going to also use a Spring Web starter that will help you to create all the controller stuff like that. So we really need that. So this all dependencies which I needed. So I'm going to do a finish here. So once I have finished, now it's going to create me a project here, and it's called the task management. Okay, so I'm gonna open this, and it's still creating my project here. The 26% is done, so I will wait for to create my all my project. And now what it's really doing is it's adding all my dependencies which I created on my project here. Okay, so that's what it's doing. Okay, looks like it's completed, and I have some issue here. The issue is I'm having this issue on my the Spring toolset where my JDK is not finding it. So now I need to do this manually here. So here I need to edit it, and I need to tell them, okay, I want to use a Java SC8 GRE 1.8. I will do okay, apply and close. Now it doesn't throw me any error. Okay, so now everything is ready. I think this is my main file that is going to run at the first time. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. So this is a main file that is going to run, and this is a Spring Boot application, and this will run at first time. And here in the pom.xml, we can see all my dependencies. It's exactly like a package.json file on our Angular, where we can see a lot of dependencies what we use. We can add our more dependencies here. I'm using a Spring Starter Data JPA, Spring Starter Web, DevTools, a MySQL connector, Lombok, or this is for the test, okay? And here I'm using, of course, for Lombok stuff. So now if I run it, this one, let's try to run it. It's not gonna run. It's gonna broke it. But let's try. But it's definitely gonna broke it. So what Spring Boot does is it makes the auto configurations really easily with compared to our Spring before. Because we don't have to do all the configuration in our XML at all for this one. It will just do our auto configuration. We just need to add add all the packages what we need, and just release packages, and this is going to be auto configure here. Now what happened is it's failed to start. The reason behind it is because I'm adding the MySQL server here, but I didn't tell them that where is my SQL server is running and what is the table name that is belonging to my this project. And I need to literally tell my Spring Boot that I'm going to use I'm going to use the table, and I need to tell them that where it is sitting on it. Okay, to tell that, I need to go to the properties file, which okay, to do that I need to go to my properties file. So let me first let me go to my MySQL. Where is my SQL here? Let me go to my PHP admin, where is all my SQL table is here. So I'm going to create a new database for this one. So I'll click on new. So I'm going to create a new database called task management. Okay, this is my database called task management, and I will pick this as UTF. Hold on. UTF-8 bin or Latin bin is just the coalescence of these MySQL server which we need to pick. So I'll pick this one. So the task management is here. Okay. So this is my task management which I create. Now I need to create, I don't need to create a table, by the way. I just need to create a database. So I just tell them which database I want to use it. So now I know what database I want to use it, and now I need to tell that this my Spring Boot application task management belongs to that. So how we can tell them is we need to go in application properties here, and this will be blank at the first. Okay, so now we need to specify that Spring dot there's called data source, where we can write it down, data source as data Spring dot data source. Okay, Spring dot data source dot URL, where we can specify the URL for our database. So it's called JDBC, and now we need to tell that it's a MySQL. Okay, So we need to tell that where is MySQL is located and what is the port number that is running. It's running on 3306. Now I need to tell them what is my the database name. It's called task management. Okay, so we also need to specify, we need to give a privileges for our applications to MySQL server. So if I go to my SQL server, which is it's running here in a PHP admin, if I go in privileges here, I have the user called root. Okay, so I already create a user, or you can create a new user here by your own, but I have already created my user here, so I'm going to use that user called root. So what I'm gonna do is I need to tell that, okay, data source the user name, right, is a root. Now I need to tell them what is the password for this one. So I'll just copy this. Instead of this, I'll just use a password, and I don't have a password. I leave it as a blank, so I'll just leave it a blank. Now I'll save this. Now just try to run this. Okay, I'll just try to run it now. So let's see I could able to run it or not. Okay, it's running and here is no issue at all. It's just running it and we didn't see any issue. It says that the Tomcat, and of course I forgot to mention one thing, the Spring Boot comes with the Tomcat server itself. So we don't have to worry about to run a Tomcat at all. It comes with it and it's going to run it. And it says that Tomcat server started on port 8080. So it's already running it. So if I go on port 8080, so let's see what it will provide me now. Okay. So if I go in 8080, I know it's going to give me some error here, but this is it. That's it. It's running, or my project is running. There is no issue, and it's connecting with my the database on my MySQL server here. But of course, I don't have any tables. It's created. It's a blank, but it's all connecting with my tables, and that's it. It's still running. So on my next video, I'm going to start building the tables, the tasks tables. I'm going to start building the repository. I'm going to build the services and the controller to connect with my tables, everything. Okay, that is going to be my next video, guys. And I hope you guys learned something new. And please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much, guys. Bye for now.